So what is a creative director, the role, responsibilities, and why businesses actually need one? We're gonna talk about it in this video. Let's go. Everyone thinks a creative director is this artsy person picking fonts and colors. That is the biggest misunderstanding as to why most brands look expensive but feel very empty. A creative director is not just someone that makes things look pretty. A creative director actually is there to make things make sense. Before I dive into what a creative director is, let's talk about what a creative director is not. A creative director is not a social media manager. They're not a graphic designer that's been promoted. They're not someone who just has good taste. And they're definitely not the person that asks the question, what should we be posting today? This is where brands actually mess up and burn money fast. You're gonna hear me refer to a creative director as a CD. So let's talk about what they actually do and why they're super important. A CD is a translator between vision and execution. They're like the bridge. They're the person that's actually responsible for creative decisions across the entire brand. They're actually the ones protecting consistency and speed when everybody else wants to go viral. They're the adult in the room when ideas start multiplying without purpose. And they set priorities instead of clutter. Most founders and business owners have all these ideas and they're just la 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 all the time. A creative director can consolidate those ideas and set up priorities and build campaigns. They set the structure around creative systems in place. The CD is the one that decides what gets made and what never should. So let's talk about some top core responsibilities of the CD. The first responsibility of a CD is defining the brand's creative direction before content ever gets made. They're the ones building the framework around tone, voice, visual language, and storytelling rules. They're the ones creating the boundaries for this brand to exist. They align the marketing, design, videos, copy, and product development under this one vision. To be honest, as a CD, I say no more than I say yes. My job is to make sure that creativity serves the business, not just personal taste. If the brand feels random and the content's just randomly out there, there's no creative direction. And that's just gonna hurt the brand short-term and long-term. All right, so here's the difference between a CD and a marketing team. The marketing team asks how to get attention. The CD asks what deserves attention. See that big difference? Attention is earned. The marketing team optimizes, creative direction originates. Creative directors are the ones connecting the brand to its audience and amplifies that through systems and creative process. The marketing team measures performance and creative direction decides what's worth measuring. Creative directors like myself are the ones setting the scoreboard for KPIs. Listen, the data doesn't lie, but it does explain what happened yesterday. Creative direction invents and innovates what tomorrow can look like. Now let's dive into why most brands feel a little off. Most brands have too many tools, too many freelancers, too many ideas, zero unifying point of view. They don't have a unified strategy. What I do as a CD is remove that noise before adding outputs. The reasons brand feels a little off is because they don't have a unified strategy that is coming from the same ecosystem. So this is why businesses actually need a creative director. When content volume increases, the results tend to flatten. If you don't have a creative director, your brand consistently starts slipping over time. If you have a marketing team, you're arguing about opinions at that point instead of actual direction. That's why it feels like there's a circle reasoning for every decision being made without a creative director. They go back to the data and they're like the data, without actual direction of saying, hey, let's execute on this, let's make a decision. And most of the times, founders are really tired of just being the creative bottleneck. So you need a CD in place to make those creative decisions for them. So if you're the final approval on everything, congratulations, you're the creative director and you're exhausted. You can't run the business and run creative direction at the same time, or you're gonna get burned out. A great CD will actually protect brand integrity over what's trending at the moment. We think about long-term trust over short-term clicks. We choose clarity over cleverness, but the sweet spot's right in between. At the end of the day, we're leading meaning over noise of the internet. Having a creative director on your team is not chasing attention, but earning it over time. So a creative director doesn't actually make more content, they make better decisions. And making better decisions compound faster than any algorithm hack you can imagine. That's the job of a creative director, and everything else is just noise sprinkled with glitter. I hope this video helped you get clear on what a creative director does and what their role is. If you need creative direction weekly, join my free newsletter at brandingbeyondbusiness.com, and I'll see you in the next video.